Good morning. Welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Ian.
I'm Lauren.
And this is the weekend workout. With a little bit of space and our body weight and a whole bunch of waves, we'll be here with you to train with our handstand, but not quite yet. We'll start with a warm-up. I'll be in charge of the Ferris wheel to start. Lauren will be in charge of those zoo animals, so stay tuned as you warm up and stretch and strength.
I just liked a little more sun.
A little more sunshine. A little more sunshine. So if we just start in our stance as you choose, I chose my squat here, and do our gentle chin tuck in. With the chin tuck, slide the head to the right or left, but keep your nose forward, and for 1 or 2 repetitions, slide. The body stays stable, and we slide. Lauren's choosing the other side, so go to that side as well.
Oh, sorry.
Find center and reach. Lauren's a little sadistic sometimes, and she thinks of a spike through the ears, and we'll just slide right and left along that spike. Keep our slide glide going, and this time think that text neck or tech neck forward, face forward, and then do the chin in. Lauren's side profile shows this one the best. 1 or 2 more, the face forward, the face in, and do that one more time, forward, and then in. Let's replicate those same shapes through the rib cage or T-spine. Sometimes I like to have, just like Lauren does there, those hands across the body. So keep your glutes squeezed and slide the rib cage to the side, find center, slide towards the other direction.
This one feels so good.
So good on those sidelines for sure. And again, repeating, avoid a side bend in this exercise. So the rib cage is along a serving tray here, and we just slide from side to side. Squeeze your bum, brace your core, push your chest or heart forward. That's extension of that spine. Now pull the shoulder blades together in retraction and try to round out or flex. 1 or 2 more as you push forward, round out. Last one, extension, heart forward, little bit of flexion, keep those shoulder blades together, and find the middle of all that in the middle. Then just take a stance. How's your squats? Pull yourself down. Just a little bit of fun here. Can we do a little bit of a hula circle in one direction? So here I am going counterclockwise from my right to left. And then let's switch our direction and go from that left to right in a more clockwise way. Those femurs are staying stable, those hips are moving, and that could feel like pleasure or pain, but hopefully not in those hips. And come back to tall. One more thing for me, just a little quick shoulder warm up. Have those hands facing forward and make light fists. Keep the elbows as straight as you can and bend on the wrists or have those knuckles forward. Then gently bend on the elbows. Imagine pulling apart a rope as to tauten up between those hands. Elevate the shoulders and then pull those shoulders back down, and then aiming to have those elbow tips face forward. Hold for a second, pull the elbows back, point the fingertips to the back wall, and then open or extend on the wrist, followed by our extension on the elbow. By 1%, just pull the shoulders together and reach towards behind you, extending the shoulder, trying to touch the hands. Mine don't touch, but I'm trying. Then make fists with the fingers, bend on the wrist, followed by that flex or bend on the elbow. Tauten up that rope. Arms pits stay low, elbow tips go forward. Then point to the back wall, extend on the wrist, pull the shoulder blades together, squeezing as you extend the arms, and have the hands come back down. Come back in a second to me for one more little upper body thing, but until then, take it over, Lauren.
Excellent. Let's do quick feet, make our way to the floor, warm up our wrists, and then we'll come back up. With our feet today, we'll be using them to walk or crawl, but also kick up. So let's get to that demi point and push some weight down into those toes. Now use the toes to gently flex or point. And right now my big toe is the one that's touching the floor because it's the longest. Well, it's not, but anyway, it's touching the floor. Could you pull that big toe, pull your foot out so your big toe really goes ramrod straight. Then gently roll or flex over the foot. Then get back to big toe point or second toe, depends on your feet. And then ball of foot, heel comes down, hip extends. One more time on the other side. Pull to that demi point. We're pushing down right now to prepare for our toe flick off the floor in our handstand or crawl. Point, kind of pull on that big toe there, and then gently flex around over the toes. Get back to the pointy point, down through the demi, heel comes down, hip extends. Let's just push down into the floor and find a balance. We might find a balance upside down, but let's first find a balance right side up. And then control the down. We'll roll through our feet once, bending our knees, peeling our feet up off the floor, pressing to tall. Let's stay up here, then bend the knees. Try to descend as low as you can safely. Knees will land softly on the floor. Hips will extend, and we'll find our wrists in preparation for the future. Extending the arms, shoulder blades retracted, elbow pits already facing up and forward. Next, hinge on the hips. Connect all 8 fingers. Keep the thumb out of the picture right now. All 8 fingers are on the floor, including that first knuckle or callus line. Are your shoulders still out of your ears and your elbow pits trying to roll forward? Next, roll from your pinky to your index and your pinky to your index. And then with straight elbows and shoulders packed, our palms will find the floor. Thumbs are down now. Thumbs are heavy, index heavy, middle heavy, ring heavy, baby heavy. Shoulders packed. I really like, before I do handstands, to rotate my elbows backwards and then to screw them in and rotate them forward as much as I can. Let's do that 2 more times. Shoulders stay packed, wrists or hands stay stationary, elbows rotate backwards and then forwards last time. Thinking about that spiral. The hands are stationary, the blades are stationary, but you're screwing in those arms to the wrists. Next, we'll come up off the floor as we came down, so palms will leave, fingers will flick. Let's do 2 more quickly. Palms face forward, hip hinge, fingers find the floor, palms. Shoulders packed, gently sit back with straight arms here. And again, all 10 fingers heavy in the floor. Now rock forward a little bit, try to bend the elbows, keeping the palms heavy, and then we'll peel them away from the floor. Last one, we'll come down to those fists or those knuckles. We'll pack our shoulders and we'll roll over each hand once here. So with that shoulder packed and elbow straight, ideally that elbow pit rotates forward, shoulder down, 5 fingers pushing heavy into the floor. Now to get back up to that fist, push the back of the hand into the floor to create that fist. One last time on the other side. Roll open. The closer the knees are to your hand, it takes a little bit of weight off those arms. So don't feel like you have to be far away. Shoulders packed, fingers reaching out, and then push into the floor back to fists. Let's extend our hips, tuck our toes behind us. With or without our hands, rock back to that toe squat first. Then keep our balance, press up. Knees straight, cheeks squeeze, slow down. Whoa. One more.
All right. One more upper body warm up here. I mentioned the Ferris wheel, but we actually did that merry-go-round the last time. So this time is more like that Ferris wheel, drawing circles in this plane right here. So start with your chin tuck and then stay about the same height, but pull down. Then slide to the side of your choice, lift up and over, and then pull down, across. One more time in that same circle. Keep the face forward, gentle up and down from the neck, and then we'll switch to go to my left, up, over, down. More than anything, I think shooting energy out of my eyeballs to the top corners and connecting my jaw back down to the clavicle. A little subtle up top, a little more obvious with that rib cage if we can. So with the hands across the body, squeeze your butt cheeks. Let's slide to the side of your choice. Then pull down, find your shield, and keep pulling down as you slide to the other side. Lift up, but keep those abs set for stability, and repeat that circle one more go. Pulling down, sliding across, anchoring down to lift up and over to the original side. Then lift up on that side and over, and bear down on those abs, finding that stability as we slide again. Up and over and down, find the middle, and shake. Adjust your stance in your squat. Let's get towards our squats again, and just do that same hula hoop type of action there, just warming up. From standing, from narrow, from wide, personalize your stance. Whew, a little tighter, a little stronger, a little different as you open up your stance. And then from there, we'll stand nice and tall. Bringing those feet back underneath.
All right, let's get on those wrists, warm up our core with a little plank down dog combo, plank A-frame, plank elephant, whatever you like to call it. That'll be our intro to our curls today. We'll get there by doing a forward fold with your feet underneath you, arms in T-Rex position, chin tucked, blades retracted. First start flexing on the head neck. Then keep your blades together and try to flex on the rib cage. I think about going up and over top of my belly button. And now keep your weight shifted a little bit more in the forefoot so you're not pushing your hips back as you end up through your forward fold. Hang out here for a second, then let those arms go towards the floor. Now, before we walk out to our plank, let's just bend our knees lightly and then straighten them. And do that 2 more times. Bend and straighten. As you do that, think about reaching the tailbone up to the sky. Really lengthen out the hamstrings right from their insertion point, which is in that high butt cheek back of femur. Then we'll walk ourselves out into our plank. In our plank, our hands are under our shoulders, our toes are tucked. We could be at our knees, but right now, if you'd like to be, you're on your toes. Pull your shoulders out of your ears. Breathe, squeeze your butt cheeks. Brace your core like you're pulling your belly button in from all directions from the inside, as if you could take a punch. Hold for 3, 2. Next, we're going to tip our tailbone to the ceiling. That's where it starts. Push the floor forward and back, lifting the hips towards that elephant or A-frame shape. Breathe. Prioritize that long spine, and then let's pull on the floor again and get back to the plank. We'll do it 2 more times. Pull right hand to right hip without moving, left hand to left hip without moving. Squeeze your cheeks, brace, then tailbone first, anterior tip of the hips as you lift up to that A-frame. And 1 more time, pull on the floor, engage those lats, dropping to your plank. This time, pull in that cross pattern. Right hand to left hip, left hand to right hip, right hand to left hand to right. 3, 2. It starts with the pelvic tilt, then the hip lift. Let's walk today our feet to our hands. Try to keep those hands heavy for as long as you can. And then peel the palms away and slowly stack yourself up. Head is last to land. Whoa.
And the shake. Those friendly resets at the top can help break up some of that high tension on the hands as well as through the core. We worked on our 2-foot squat just a little bit there. Let's challenge ourselves today, continuing to work on our single leg squats. So first, on 2 feet, choose a leg and pull up to our little flamingo down low and just hold and squeeze your butt cheek. Lauren mentioned that pelvic tilt, so let's do a slow cow-like anterior tip of the hip. And very patiently, take about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 seconds to get down on a single leg. Hang out there for a second or 2 longer, and then push the hip over the knee, fully straightening the knee with your quads and your bum cheek. 1 more time. Sets of 2 as we work on our squats today. The hip is just a subtle cow shape. The knee is over the toe, and then push the hip forward, finish tall, and maybe even find those demi-point balances on the front of the foot. Up with control and down. Somehow I survived the announcer's jinx right there. We'll try the same thing, 2 repetitions on the other side. Pull up to the low position, slight cow tip in the hip as we get that knee going over the toe. Hang out in that stressful position, not a painful one, but a stressful one, and push the hip through, fully cramping the glute and pulling up the quad. 1 more time. Low and slow, take your time, prioritize the cow tip, knees strong, then push the hip through. And once the leg is so straight, the bum could squeeze just that little bit more, you might find your rise, up with control, as well as down. Finish on 2 feet and shake.
Excellent.
Come back to me for more squats, but until then, the zoo with Lauren.
We're going to progress that A-frame and take it for a little waltz across the room as an elephant. This time, let's use our hinge to get to the floor. Tailbone, again, that anterior tip of the hip, tailbone to the back wall. Hips hinge, vertical shins. Just hang out here for a second. Spine is long, weights in those hammies, toes are heavy. Then we'll tip forward and let's immediately find that A-frame shape. Hands are gripping the floor, tailbone tip to the ceiling. Gentle, knees are extended as much as you can. Prioritize that anterior tip over getting the heels to the floor. Next, opposite hand and foot will take a step forward, peeling that hand away from the floor like a cat. Flicking the floor, as well as through your feet. The heel will lift, the toes will lift. Breathe. Try to step at the same time, hand and foot opposites. Once you've gone forward as far as you can, could you go backwards? Depending on your room size, you might even be traveling sideways a little bit. No rules. Elephants go all different ways, I think. And then we'll walk ourselves back to the hinge, so bend the knees, verticalize the shins, and press through to tall. One day I'm going to get verticalized in Webster's dictionary.
To the floor, this time on 2 feet for our quick squat. It's that toe squat that Lauren had earlier. And then Lauren, because she does such a good job, will help cue us through those hollow plank positions as well. So we'll go knees over toes on flat feet.
Hollow or plank?
Hollow, on our back, sorry. So lift up those heels, get a little low, knees to the floor, extend the hips through, tight abs, squeeze your butt cheeks, but then relax and take it away, Lauren, as we do our hollow hold from the floor.
Okay. Next, with our hollow holds, we're going to start by lying on our back, which is a great place to be on a Saturday morning. Breathe. Arms are to the side, palms face up, feet flat on the floor, knees bent, chin slightly tucked. Thinking about your spine right now, it's fairly neutral, as in your low back isn't jammed into the floor, and it's also not arching off the floor. We want to keep that spine position the whole time. You're going to engage your core and connect your ribs to your hips. So what'll happen is your hips will connect, and because that happens, your shoulders and head will lift off the floor. There's a word for that. For 3, 2, and then gently relax. Let's repeat that again. Connect ribs to hips. Engage your abs to do that, not your head and neck. Either stay here or lift both feet up off the floor. Either stay here or extend one leg out long and then pull it back and repeat on the other side. Either continue with that progression or extend both legs out long. Let's hold for 8 more seconds. Here, our feet are tight together. Our legs are tight together. Our cheeks are squeezed. Our core is still braced. We're looking up towards the ceiling. We're breathing. We're probably quivering. Pull back to center and then gently relax. Since we're here, I'm going to do a crawl. It's so close to the floor. Why not be a crab?
Ooh, the crab. I love a crab.
So we'll work on our hip extension here before we come up to a squat again. Our knees are still bent, our feet are facing forward. This time our hands are facing backwards. That's where my fingers like to face. You can modify as you'd like. Right now, let's think about our shoulders. Be slumpy, then extend, pushing the floor away. That's where I'd like you to be. Next, let's hover the hips up off the floor. We've talked about this a lot today. Tilt the tailbone to the wall behind you in that anterior tip. Now start to scoop the hips under. It starts with the low abs. They scoop. Then that belly button starts lifting towards the sky. And lastly, the chest. We're trying to get into this tabletop position where our shoulders, our knees, our hips are all in one line. Squeeze. Breathe. Now again, just like that down dog, it starts at the tailbone reaches to the back wall. The pelvis tilts. Then we slowly drop into that V. Let's do it one more time. Scoop the hips under. Tucking, connecting the ribs to the hips. Lift up to your tabletop. Hold. Breathe. Think about crab soccer when you were 6 years old and how easy it was. And now untuck the tailbone to the back wall. Hips will come down. Take a second off hands. And we'll stand up via.
That size is it. So anyhow that's available for you, let's just get to those knees and just like Lauren there, enjoy a little sit down. Point those toes in for a gentle extra challenge. Try to lift your toes off the ground. That might cramp the bottom of your feet. Then push the hips through with a butt squeeze in your core brace. Hold your balance. Tuck your toes. Then with the hands or without, get back to those toe tips. Push the hips through. Finish nice and tall. And reset down with control. Add the shake. Add the wiggle. Now let's return to our single leg squat from here. So pull up. Find that single leg stance. Take your time pulling yourself down just like in the previous set. Now, with the karate foot or the ballet foot, extend the knee, pull it back underneath, and push that hip through, finishing tall. Repeating one more, sets of 2 today. The tailbone is a cow, we're taking our time getting low. Gently extend on the knee with Lauren's ballet foot or my dorsiflex karate. Pull underneath, push through. Might we add that single leg balance here again. Use a balance aid if you need. Focus on something stable in front of you. Up with control and down. Whew. Shake and switch. Pull in tight. Use the support of that standing leg and the support of the elevated leg as well to get low. Then straight. Then pull under and press the hip through, fully cramping the glutes and the knees to straight. One more time, then we'll add that balance, Lauren. Knee over toe. Gently extend. Wake up the quads, but not to say too aggressive hellos. And press the hip through and find those demi points or those metatarsal heads of the feet and hold for a second longer and down with control. I think we have one more zoo exhibit, Lauren.
We do.
Last week.
We're going to perform our frog/monkey.
Excellent.
So we've been working on our forward back, we've been working on our crab. Let's first do our side to side monkey. We're going to pull ourselves down into our low squat. Monkeys move side to side, frogs move forward back. For this one, it's a standard fact.
Very.
Hand, hand, foot, foot. Hand, hand, foot, foot. As you progress the skill, well, no matter what level of progression, you're soft on your landings. You're going to one side and then to the other. As you progress the skill, you're trying to get your butt high in the air towards that upside down position. Getting your mind used to this position. Breathe, and then let's just stand up. Next, the frog. They go forward, backwards. We'll pull ourselves down into that low squat again. This time we're going to reach both hands forward. We'll push off those legs and soft landing hop to those hands. Repeat again. Reach, lift, hop. Reach, lift, hop. Now, the frogs where we're from also go backwards. Hands close to the feet. You're going to push the floor forward to send your hips and legs back. Push forward, send back. Last one. Push forward, send back to your squat. Oh, it's tough being both those animals.
It is. We're done the zoo exhibit, but feel free to come back to the zoo animals, whether it's your down dog, your elephant, your crab, or a monkey met a frog. But we will continue in a second with more of our handstand kick-ups.
Frunky. Anyway.
Some of the words we make up are okay. Frunky might not make the list for another class. But pull up to the low position again. And this time just climb. Climb the leg towards the knee. Are you hiked in the hip, or are you able to maintain those hips nice and level? Push that leg down, finish nice and tall. Take the other leg and repeat. Pull up the body and see the visual distinction of a hip hike versus the hips level, and challenge that true hip flexion, the strength of the core to lift the leg. Press down. Again, same thing, pull up. It's harder up here, be careful, and gently, for 5 seconds, straighten that leg. As you can see on Lauren, both legs are very straight. Pull to the flamingo, press down, finish tall. Repeat on the other side. Pull up, lengthen out. Both legs are straight. Point the toes or the karate foot. Pull underneath and tall. As we get into our next phase here, Lauren's kick up and my step in, the handstands, those hamstrings, they really help or hinder one another. Keep working on the mobility, and we'll keep working on our strength with the handstand. If you're ready to go and you know what that handstand kick up is like, follow along with Lauren. I'll be cueing, or just wait and Lauren will cue me in the same fashion in a second. The hands are open. We're in a tripod stance in a second where one leg will be up, and we're looking for little quick switches here. It's very quiet, it's very soft, and just get a little bit of that weight transfer, and as you feel safe with it, bring the legs towards more overhead. Take time, maybe 1 or 2 more as you go. Work on the control, work on the quiet factor.
Whew.
Same thing, kick up.
So I like that step in, that tripod kick, but Ian prefers this, he's also gonna do the tripod. I thought he said step in earlier. He's also gonna do the tripod. So again, start with that baby air. Get used to your brain being okay with being upside down and being weight under the hands. If you're not here yet, you're progressing your elephants or your other crawls as previously practiced. Once you're feeling a little more confident, that kick can become a little bit bigger, working towards that more upside down position.
You got it. That's one of the variations to get into that handstand, and the other would be our step in. So challenging yourself by little bits of air underneath the feet at a time. You could take that step with the shoulders up, toe ball heel on your takeoff, and go for it, Lauren. Looking for those baby airs. Beautiful shape. Lauren's doing that scissor switch right away, so take your time, but looking for that quiet factor. The elbows are straight to start. If you end up upside down, earn it, own it, be happy that you made it. Beautiful shapes there, nice transitions, and a little shake. We'll do that again.
Whichever you're practicing, take your time, ease into it. I promise you it takes a lot of practice and time to do this, so don't rush. Just keep at it and enjoy the process. As you do this as well, to get back to standing, you're pushing the floor away with those hands. You're landing soft on the feet, but you're also taking off softly. It's just like a bunch of cats in here, which is my allergy nightmare. Anyway, breathe, push the floor away.
We're gonna do that one more time. What is your favorite way to do, or the one that gives you the most confidence to keep going? For Lauren, that's the tripod, so follow along with Lauren in the tripod, or me in just a second with the kick up.
Remember,
one last time.
Frunking around is also appropriate.
You got it. So whether you're just in their high planks position, or maybe crawling around the floor like the frog or that frog.
The frog.
A crawl like a frog or a monkey. Take your time. But here Lauren goes in that last prep set for the warm-up of the kick-ups. Kick-ups. And press. And point those toes. And make sure you're breathing. And there's a huge checklist here. So just focus on one of those things. Whether it's those straight legs. Beautiful hollow shape there, Lauren. And if you get there, own it. Be so happy with control down. Very well done. Let's do that
All right.
again.
Team Ian is going now. Remember, you're taking rest. So if you went with me, we're resting, giving those wrists a little break. If you were watching, now you're practicing. Don't go this whole time. I promise you that a lot of good things happen while you rest. Breathing, kicking the floor away, your safe height. I'd rather see you go less high and land like this than see you go super high and have to bail out sideways. So take your time, breathe occasionally. Highly recommended.
Highly recommended to breathe. We'll shake it out and encourage you to rest and do the same. And we have one more drill here for today, our minute of craziness. So whether you are in your high planks position, just building that strength and endurance through the arms, or crawling around or hanging out in your squat, we're going to try to spend about 1 full minute in our handstand. So we'll do our wardrobe checks and push in. And our last drill for today is the minute of craziness. 3, 2, slowly go. Take your time and have fun. Nice job, Lauren. Not quite it.
Oh, do you know what second we started at?
The 8.
40 seconds. That might be a PB though.
Ooh. Excellent. Some days gravity hits us harder than others, but take your time. And if you're failing, which is an okay thing, just shake it out. Take your rest when you need, and always try to finish with integrity. This has been week 2, because the original week 2's connection was interrupted.
Sorry about that.
So thank you very much for joining us here as part of our Bars and Bells Summertime Handstand Classes, series of 8. This is number 2 again. We invite you to join us next week for number 3. My name's Ian.
I'm still Lauren.
Excellent.
Thanks for joining us today. We start everything again on Tuesday with our bell practice, Thursday with our bar, and then Saturday,
We'll play.
what'll happen.
We'll play.
So until next time, take care, stay strong, visit our website, check out our Patreon
That's
page,
it.
and we'll train soon.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Have a good day.